I'm Jaclyn Johnson.
And I'm Marina Middleton.
And this is WorkParty, a podcast that's part work and part party. WorkParty celebrates a new generation of women who are redefining the meaning of work on their own terms and having fun while doing it.
In this podcast, we are diving into all the areas of being a working woman. Mind, body, and business. No topic is off limit.
Real talk and hot takes. Think of us as your internet work wives. This is WorkParty,
the podcast.
Wait, where's the champagne? Welcome back to our Career Glow Up series on WorkParty. Today, we're discussing a topic that is necessary and also fun but scary. Networking. So for so long, networking has been synonymous with awkward conferences, going up to people, going to events by yourself, not knowing who to talk to, spamming people on email. But today we're moving past all of the awkward, can I have your business card swap? We're talking about intentional networking. So building high quality strategic relationships with people that can help advance your career. So this is how you glow up your network from a list of contacts to an actual genuine support system.
I'm so excited. If you know me, you know I dread networking.
Yeah, you hate networking.
I hate networking, but I'm like, do I hate it? Or is it just I'm going into it
with the wrong mentality?
And I also don't think a lot of events are designed to help you intentionally network, which I think was the biggest differentiator with me going to Create and Cultivate for the first time, because I felt like, oh, wait. I don't have to be really nervous. It's not awkward. And it changed how I viewed networking, especially coming from the corporate world where they facilitated those opportunities for you and giving you access to the conferences and all of that stuff. But you would go and you're like, oh, I have to meet this random person or I have to introduce myself. And so, it changed the game for me. But
it's so true. And I think for me, I've always just kind of organically approached networking. I think it's if I click with someone at an event, then great, but I'm not going there to be like, I need to walk away with 5 new contacts.
Yeah.
Or I need to go meet this specific person and tell them the thing. But I do think that is real, especially when you're fundraising. And I'll talk a little bit more about that and how aggressive you have to network when you're fundraising.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think let's get into it. So let's talk about some of the ways you can kind of approach it to be more intentional. Quality over quantity. So being a filter. So not going for 5,000 plus LinkedIn connections, not going for how many people can I email after that event? Maybe one will get back to me. It's really about being intentional.
Yeah, I love that. And I think for me, again, as someone that has been really nervous with having to have this quantity of people that I'm meeting, that's really overwhelming. And I always laugh. It's I don't want to meet 2,000 people that, you know what I mean? And 2,000 people aren't relevant for my goals and what I want to do. So how I filter it out is obviously way more intentional. I go to these events and I'm like, okay, I'm going to just meet 5 random people. And once I'm done, I can leave. But most of the time, once you get to that 3rd or 4th person, you're like, oh, that's fine. I can hang out with this person, or I have something in common with this person. I do want to obviously talk about Connect because it is so intentional with who you meet, and the filter is created automatically for you. So okay, I'm meeting this person that has similar goals or has that can support me in those aspects.
It takes the pressure off. So for people who aren't familiar, can you describe what Connect is?
Yeah. So Connect is our AI powered matchmaking program, and it's for networking. So we will match you for any of the event attendees. You fill out your profile. It takes all of the data that you put in, your categories, your interests, your intent, what you want to get out of it.
Can you give an example of what someone could select?
Yeah, exactly. So you can be, your category could be marketing. And your interest in marketing is influencer marketing. And your goal might be hiring for influencer marketing, hiring a role, right? So you fill that out. Someone else is then going in and saying marketing, influencer marketing, and they're looking for the job, right? Or they have knowledge on influencer marketing. So those 2 people would then match. But that is not where we stop. Where our algorithm then takes it another level is once they match, they then can decide if it's a double opt-in and decide, yes, I actually do want to meet with this person. And it shows them the other interests that this person has. So maybe this person, not just for influencer marketing, but maybe they have investment background. Maybe they're in an industry that you're not familiar with. And so we create these, again, profiles using the information that you input. We match you. And then we automatically like schedule it for you if you double opt in, and then you get to meet in person.
Yeah. So these are happening, these Connect programs are happening at Future Summit in Austin and also our festival in Los Angeles.
Yeah. The first time we ever launched this was at Festival, and it doesn't exist at other events. And I do think it's so like critical and such a game changer to the experience of the attendees and the sponsors and everybody on site. So we had over 10,000 meetings. The emails that we were getting, and we're definitely going to share this, of like people raised money on site, people found their job on site, they found mentors, they found mentees. Like it was just really cool to see that double experience, like those two connections. And so, so now we have it at Future Summit and Festival.
One of my friends is a life coach and she got a new client from it, which is really exciting. I think also with Connect, it's just nice because you're like, I know I'm going to meet 8 people. Totally. Like I already know that going into it, so I can kind of enjoy the content. I don't have to like aggressively be trying to like chase after people. So I think it's just a nice way to kind of enjoy an event as well.
And I think when you think through networking, like the intentionality around it is like, what do you want to get out of it? It doesn't necessarily need to be so business oriented. We had people meet that are professional, obviously, like professional women and all this stuff, and they were talking about motherhood, or they were talking about relationships, or they were talking about like wealth and being stuck in their like routine and what to do after. Like it was really cool to see the conversations that were being facilitated. And I do think that going into an event, knowing who's going to be there, what industries, and like literally just connecting. And now they can keep talking through our Connect platform for the year until the next event. And so that is really where the power of networking is.
I think I like what you're saying too about how you're like, you know, the intention is not necessarily all business. Because I think that's how I really approach it, because I think people often approach me at events wanting something. And I think it's always like, you know, I want to speak, or I want you to angel invest or whatever, which is fine. Or I want to work for you, and which is fine. But I feel a lot of anxiety around that sometimes, where you're like, oh, I feel like I need to like help this person immediately. And then it's like, and then the follow up, and, you know, maybe it's not a fit, and then you feel weird. Like, and that makes me really stressed. So I think I keep that in mind when I meet other people, because I just like to meet everyone. And if I happen to meet like someone that I'm like, oh, this person actually would be such a good fit for Create and Cultivate, or actually would be such an amazing speaker, it's like, that's not the goal of networking with them. It's to become friends, and like, you know, obviously because there's a connection there anyway, and then see what happens. And I think that's like a better mentality about it, because I think it can feel, I don't know, and maybe that's just because of like my age and like where I'm at, because I think I think networking when I was in my early 20s at my first jobs was so important.
But I also like, to that point, I also think that there's a lot of anxiety when you're going in and being like, I have to have an ask. Like, this is my one opportunity to meet this person. I'm going to immediately ask them for this favor. It's like, no.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think the pressure is both ways. Like, I don't want to always be received with like, hey, can you do this for me? And that's the only reason why I'm connecting, which I love that you called that out. And then on the flip side, I don't want to have to walk into each room being like, this is my ask, this is my give. And, you know, like, it's like, it's so really intense. And you're like, wait, what if we just like got to know each other?
Yeah.
And maybe there's a connection there, and maybe there's value or an experience that I have experience that can help you, or a belief that I have that you can borrow. And so I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting because it's like the people I tend to meet that I like get to know and chat and whatever, like further down the line, I'll always be like, oh, they would be perfect for this. And like, I'll like loop them into it because it just feels more organic.
Totally. Well, so I feel like understanding the quality versus quantity, let's talk about mastering like the cold outreach, because I do think that like you should have an ask eventually, if you need, like, whether it's like through sponsorship, whether it's connections, whether it's investors, like talk through how you've been cold outreaching, if you are, for raising money specifically, and then we can talk about like jobs and all of that.
Yeah, no, I don't cold outreach.
You don't?
No, I don't, because I know it doesn't work. Because I think, especially with fundraising, it does not, like, it just, I mean, look, I'm not saying for everyone, it might work for someone, but I think the reality of the situation is it's much like getting in the room with anyone. It's like reading the cold email and getting the meeting is like 1 in a million, it feels like sometimes. So I do think there is the warm intro is so important. That's like literally, we say at Charitable, like, we're in the business of warm intros, like in some ways, because that's so crucial. Now, I 100% have cold emailed on the sponsorship side. And I think like what has always worked has been like, and I think we're also living in, I was actually like this morning kind of downloading it, because we're just living in a bunch of chat GPT slop. Like every LinkedIn post is ChatGPT. Every single one. And you could tell the way it's written, the emojis, like, and
the M dashes.
And it doesn't necessarily mean it's not valuable, but it's like, it's not humans. Like, it's just so bizarre. Anyway, so one, if you're going out for sponsorship, like, definitely don't send like a ChatGPT email. Two, find a common thread, whether it's a connection you have to that company, a connection you have to that person, whatever it might be. Like, hey, I saw you're connected to Julie. I love Julie. We worked together 3 years ago. Anyway, I love what you're doing. Or I thought blah, blah, blah. Your campaign was so brilliant. And that is absolutely in line with our audience. And then what I tend to do is I don't sell on that first email. I say, hey, here's a link to like all the activations we have going on. This is our audience, would love to hop on a call. Get on the phone with people. Like, it is so important. Like, don't sell over email. It never works. Like, I genuinely can't remember an email I've responded to, even asking me for sponsorship dollars, where it's just been like, hi, insert name, blah, 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 like all these different things. Oh, and it's $5,000 in this. I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I don't know what your company is. Like, and you're asking me for money? Like, this is crazy.
How do you feel about long emails?
I hate them.
I know. Same.
Hate them.
Same.
Give me a bullet list.
I'm not reading this novel of an email.
No one is. No one is. It's crazy. And I think the approach has to be, I think also, if you live in a city where that person also lives, be like, hey, just make it like, hey, would love to grab coffee. Like, would love to take you to coffee. Your office is here. I'll literally downstairs. I'll meet you for coffee and just want to catch up. Those are like the best relationships. And again, they don't happen immediately. I think it really takes that, like, that nurturing and that follow up, but you do have to follow up. That's the other thing I'll say. I think, as someone who gets thousands of emails and has a lot on her plate, I let shit slide through the cracks by accident. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh, I did forget to respond to that person, or that is interesting. And I do think there is something to following up. And like, I would say this to all of our sales team when I was running it, like, follow up to the point where you feel creepy. Like, you want to feel awkward about the amount of emails you've sent. And because I do feel like finally people, when it's the right time, will be like, oh, you know what? Actually, let's hop on that call. Like, I actually have some budget, or I'm interested in this. So I do think it does work in that sense, but I think it's a cold email with a warm intention. And I think that's really important. So it's not going in, here's a cold email with a hard sell. It's a soft sell with like a warm interest in getting to know that person.
I love little soundbite there. Cold email with a warm intention.
Girl.
Clock it.
Yes.
No, but
I've been
seriously,
sleeping 18 hours.
Yeah. You're like, my brain. It
is.
Seriously,
working.
no, it's so true. I love that. I will say too, the most important thing is when you meet someone, and I don't do a good job at this, but you know who does? Christina Bartold. When you meet her in person, right? So she meets in person, connects, all the stuff. The follow up and the follow through after is unbelievable.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like she does email and get the coffee date or the Zoom date. And that the way, like, we live in such a busy go schedule, being able to like do that and say, hey, I remember the conversation we had in person, would love to, like, hey, do you have 5 minutes? Would love to do a coffee. That's so powerful.
It's so true, especially for me. I am in like a no new friends mode, and it's not good. I definitely, and especially like moving to New York, I feel like a little bit more I've been like open to it. The people who follow up with me
Yeah.
I'm like, because I am not the follow-upper.
No,
I am like, I want to be that person.
You're not the follow-upper when you meet someone in person, but you are in terms of just like business in general.
Business.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, I meet people, I'm like, that girl was so cool, but I feel like I'm really bad. I've actually been really good about it. There's two people that I've been like aggressive about following up with. Cammie Crawford. So when I got to New York, I was like, girl, we are hanging. And I like definitely stalked her and we did hang out. And then my friend Les recently, who I've known forever, but I was like, oh, I didn't know you were in New York. And so we went to a dinner together. And so now we're getting coffee on Sunday. So it's working.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Yeah. But like, I think you have to be so intentional about doing it. And I think that's what gets you over the line. And then obviously they don't respond like a few times and move on.
We're done. Yeah. Okay. So they do respond, maximizing the meeting. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So once you get into it, I don't know. So this is my thing. Once I'm there, this is how all my meetings go. We yap for 2 hours. Like, you're single, tell me about your aunt. Like, da-da-da. Like, what you eating, girl? Like, and at the very end, I'm like, oh, by the way, we do have this one thing. It could be a good sponsorship opportunity for you. Like, let me know this, that, the other, or whatever. If that's the business, like, it's the end of the conversation. And it's like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, we'll figure it out and I'll take a look at it.
Do you know what's really funny? So when I had a sponsorship coffee with This was during the blueprint. It was my first coffee date or lunch date with this brand. And
Oh God.
I wasn't used to that because at Yahoo, you went in, you presented a deck, you know what I mean? It was just this whole thing. And so we go for lunch, and the first 30 minutes we're literally talking about everything besides work. And I started getting really anxious of oh God, is this not a work meeting? Is this, when do I tell her about sponsorship opportunities? And we were talking about her kids and my kid and traveling and we're eating. And I'm just when is the time? Anyways, towards the end, she's like, okay, so tell me, what do you have going on? How can I support what sponsorship opportunities? I tell her, she's like, okay, cool. Send me the deck. And that was it. And I left and I'm like, oh.
This is how Marina networks. To a meeting. You sit down, you go, do you have $50,000? No? Goodbye. Literally.
So it really did change the game. I was like, oh, I gotta chill out.
Chill.
I gotta really nurture this relationship. And now obviously that's how I go in. Yesterday's client meeting, it was just we were just talking and understanding the value and what is she trying to accomplish and what is the business and who does she talk to and all of that stuff and talking about just our business too and helping her understand. And then at the end, it was okay, here's what we think, and I'll send it over, but no pressure. I love that approach.
Yeah, I think also to your point, walking into any meeting where you have a specific ask for the person, ask them first what they're needing help with. What are they focusing on? What are your plans? Let them talk and talk and talk and talk, because then your ask could be tailored to their response, which makes it even more compelling. So for instance, if I'm having a meeting with you, you're a sponsor, and I jump in and say, we have this massive event in Austin in March. It's going to be absolutely amazing, blah, 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 whatever. And I just won't shut up about it. And then you go and you're like, well, we have a really big initiative actually in Q3. And I just didn't mention anything about Q3. It doesn't make any sense. So you actually going first and Q3 is our initiative, and us saying, actually, our festival is in Q3. And that would be a perfect fit and alignment. So I think that's really important to ask them first.
Yeah, you collect that data ahead of time. I love that so much. And I do think understanding what is that value is everything, because you want to be able to not only relate, but if there is an opportunity there that's more organic than just being cold pitching.
And it's, because I think also, and one of the things that really worked well for Create and Cultivate is we had the relationship with the person, not necessarily the brand. And so when that person left and went to another company, they always brought us with them, and we always were able to do that. And we were able to find a new contact at the brand, but they knew they liked working with us and they saw the results. So it was that network effect was so huge for us.
Yeah, it's funny. So when I first went to Create and Cultivate, just talking about being nervous and networking, I went to my event by myself. I've told this story so many times, but it's one of my favorite stories. And I remember waiting in line. I was really, really nervous. And I walked up, and you had just sold the business. And I walked up to the venue and I took a right. And the first person I see was you. And I beelined it out of the way. I was like, I have nothing to say to this woman. I am, I was terrified of you. And I remember I didn't say anything. I went through the whole entire event, and then I DM'd you and I was like, hey, I had nothing of value to say to you, so I didn't, but I just want to say thank you for putting on this event. And you're like, what? Thanks. Say hi next time. What
also,
I mean?
I wish you were still those. Yeah. How do I make you more scared? How do I just tap into that fear?
I'm too comfortable now.
I'm now you would run up and be like, boo, bitch.
No, but it's just really funny. It made me think of it.
No,
okay.
It's crazy. Okay. So I would say this. One of the things that also was two fun tips that I want to just end with, and maybe you can give one tip too. One tip is definitely, especially on business email follow-ups, cold emails, follow up again, set a reminder every couple months. Mm-hmm. And again, don't send the same email. Be like, hey, I haven't heard back from you, but wanted to update you. We've had amazing results. Here's some examples, blah, blah, blah. So that's number one. Number two was this tip I gave on Instagram. It was given to a girl who booked me on Intro. And essentially she was like, I'm going to this conference. So let's just pretend a Create and Cultivate or some large scale event. I don't know anyone. I need to get my business out there. What tips do you have? And so the tip I gave was when you're at a conference and they open up the session to Q&A during a panel, always ask a question. But when you stand up, say, hi, I'm Jaclyn Johnson. I am the co-founder of Cherub. We're an angel investing platform using AI to power the first mile of fundraising. And my question is blah, 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 blah. At that point, essentially gotten to pitch my business to the entire room. Everyone knows who I am and what I do, and maybe they have a way to work with me. So I think that's a great way to do it.
I'm obsessed with that because it does, and how you were saying online, it's like it allows you to be like a speaker per se, you have that like speaking moment. And it is so powerful because then someone can resonate with you. I think for me, my tip goes back to understanding the value, like really understand, like ask them questions. Where are you from? What do you do? What, like, tell me what your goals are. Like understand from them, not even just in a meeting, when you meet someone at a conference or an event or anything. And then that way it takes the pressure of like having to talk just about you the whole entire time.
I love it.
I love that.
That's it for this episode of Work Party. Happy networking.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Work Party. If you like what you heard, follow, leave a review, rate the pod, or slide into our DMs.
Check out the different ways you can create and cultivate on our website, createcultivate.com. From retreats and masterminds to our summits and festival.
We have different experiences to support you through your entrepreneurial journey from launch
to legacy.
Follow us at Create Cultivate on all platforms, and don't forget, work hard.
Party on.
Please note that this episode may contain paid endorsements and advertisements for products and services. Individuals on the show may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to in this episode.